What is zone 2 training and when should you be doing it? What does that look like? Why is it so important right now? Let's get into it. If you're new here, my name's Catherine. I'm the personal trainer and running coach at Kathletics. Here at Kathletics, we're all about meeting you where you are in your fitness so you can approach hybrid training in a sustainable way. Zone 2 training has really picked up steam over the last few years because it is an important part of building your aerobic base. With that said, there are some things that we need to note with what that is doing, what the Zone 2 training looks like, when you should be doing it, how often you should be doing it, and when should we focus on the other heart rate training zones. First things first, what is zone 2? Zone 2 is 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. To find your maximum heart rate, you can take 220 minus your age, and that will at least give you a ballpark of what your maximum heart rate could look like. You may have some variations of that based on what your fitness watch says if you do wear one, but understand that it may not be a perfect calculation. With that said, you can then find your heart rate zone 2 by taking that number and multiplying it by 60% and 70%. That's going to give you your heart rate zone 2. Now that we've found out those calculations, we do want to consider why we're using that. So within the heart rate zone 2, we are building your aerobic base. So if you've seen some of my other videos, we talk about why we want to take the off season. So if you are somebody who is training for an event in the late spring or early fall, you generally have your off season in the late fall through early spring. During that time, we want to continue to build your base, maintain your cardiovascular fitness, and a lot of that does take place in zone 2. Now, if you're new to running or new to your cardiovascular sport, you may have some growing pains where it feels impossible to get to zone 2. It's like, I always have to walk in order to get my heart rate down to zone 2. And I totally understand that. That is why I do say that zone training isn't perfect, especially for those that are new or those who are getting back into cardiovascular fitness, or there are definitely other reasons why your heart rate could be variable that are not due to your aerobic fitness, such as heat, humidity, other outside stressors, things like that. We won't get too much into that, but I do want us to think about why we want to do zone 2 and what the outcomes could look like if we participate in it. So again, if you're somebody that is running and you have a hard time keeping your heart rate down, something you could do instead is do the talk test. So the talk test is basically what we want to do instead of following exact numbers on your fitness watch, and that is by being able to hold a conversation during your run, during your cardio activity. This is going to let you know that you're likely doing the right training effort based on that talk test or based on feeling like you're at an RPE 3 or 4. So RPE being rate of perceived exertion. So again, RPE 3 to 4, zone 2, and the talk test, those are all kind of clumped into the same arena of effort. So as long as we're meeting that in one way or another, we are then doing zone 2 training. We'll just lump it all into one. And this is going to help you build your aerobic base and encourage you to stay aerobically fit, whether you are doing general fitness or if you are training for a specific event. Now, although there is a big craze of zone 2 going on, I do want to encourage you to dabble in other zones as well. So zone 2 may be the bulk of your training, but we do want to see zone 3, 4, and 5 in various ways. I personally believe that it is important to see all zones throughout the whole entire year, but there are different ways that you can approach it where some people do zone 2 for literally an entire season, and then they build in the 3, 4, and 5 throughout their in season, so their main training block. I like to approach it in a way of kind of like a 80-20, 70-30 type of situation where, again, most of your training is in that zone 2, but we are also dabbling in the other zones so we can have those adaptations to encourage getting faster, encourage more capacity, things like that, that is going to help you reach your goals in the cardiovascular world. So if you're someone who tends to struggle to stay in that zone 2 area, or maybe you do most of your cardiovascular sessions as really hard sessions or maybe HIIT or interval sessions, I do encourage you to, yeah, maybe keep one of those per week, but let's pull back. Let's try to get some of those sessions back down into zone 2 or have that talk test so you can speak during those sessions and really build the aerobic base as well as allowing yourself to do more volume without having the fatigue that comes with doing those harder sessions. So actually, zone 2 is going to allow you to do more, build that volume, like I said, maintaining that base during the off season, as well as helping you prepare for those longer sessions on the mountain or on the trail, on the road, whatever your preferred method of cardio is. So yes, zone 2 training, definitely recommend. This is something that I encourage all of my clients to do, whether their goal is general fitness or they are preparing for a specific race or event. Zone 2 training is helpful for your overall health, and I highly recommend keeping it in your program. If you're looking to take the guesswork out of your training, be sure to click the link in the description to learn more about our hybrid training programs. Otherwise, be sure to like, subscribe, and then we'll see you in the next one.